Hello and welcome to Castar Reviews. I'm Adam Castar, and we've made it to the finale of my Halo retrospective. Halo 5 was the first non-collection Halo game to release on Xbox One, and also the first mainline Halo game with microtransactions. Halo 5 divides a lot of opinions, and to be honest, my first impressions were not that great. If I could articulate the feeling in the most New York way possible, it would be like if your favorite local pizza place turned into a Papa John's. Of course, Papa John's is still a fine pizza place, but whatever made the local pizzeria special has been stripped away as a result of the takeover. Without wanting to spoil the entire review, Halo 5 knows where its bread is buttered and panders to that group at the expense of people who play Halo for different reasons. Without further delay, let's finish off this Halo retrospective with a bang. Before we get into the overarching plot, let's get into some of the new characters that we'll be controlling. The main team you'll be tracking with is Fire Team Osiris, which is a team of Spartan Force consisting of Jameson Locke, mocap by Luke Cage himself, Holly Tanaka, Olympia Vale, and Buck, from ODST. You also are occasionally put into the armor of Blue Team, a foursome of Spartan 2s led by the Master Chief. The other members of Blue Team are named Kelly, Fred, and Linda, but honestly I couldn't tell the three apart unless they spoke. You can only control Locke in Fire Team Osiris and Master Chief in Blue Team during gameplay, so for those wishing for a return to Buck's armor, then you'll be left wanting. Our story begins as the UNSC Infinity deploys Fire Team Osiris to rescue Dr. Halsey from Jewel Madama's Covenant. Just as an aside, the intro of this mission in the first person is very cool looking. The Prometheans and Covenant are no longer working together and are fighting each other as you go through to Halsey's location. You find Halsey and Osiris kills Madama and his elite guard. No pun intended.
Dr. Halsey, Captain Lasky would like a word with you.
It took you long enough.
Meanwhile, Blue Team is sent to the abandoned Oni research facility Argent Moon. The Covenant is stripping it for parts. During the mission, Chief is telepathically contacted by Cortana? Wait, I thought she was dead after Halo 4. Well, I guess not. Her disembodied voice tells Master Chief that Meridian is next, referring to another planet. Chief comes to and tells the rest of Blue Team the news that Cortana is still alive. They decide to blow up Argent Moon and leave in a UNSC Prowler. Master Chief then redirects Blue Team to go to Meridian and follow Cortana's trail. This is going against their superior's orders, which ruffles the feathers of the UNSC.
Sierra 117 to Infinity. Argent Moon scuttled. I've reassigned Blue Team. Destination Meridian. Potential contact from Cortana.
Negative 117. Another team is already being prepped to deal with her.
What the hell?
You're to return to Infinity immediately.
Negative Infinity.
Back on the Infinity, Halsey is worried that her prize creation is psychologically manipulating her other prize creation.
Cortana is no longer an asset, Captain. She is a danger. She has access to the Forerunner domain, a galaxy-spanning network
Cortana's
that
alive?
allows her to control whatever devices caused this damage.
How is she?
Master Chief believes she contacted him.
No, John must not speak to her.
He's gone in search of her.
You let him go?
How is it
Nobody lets the chief do anything. He does what he wants.
Until 0631 this morning, when he was declared absent without leave.
This isn't about the Master
John
Chief.
is not equipped emotionally to deal with her as a threat.
Osiris is then sent to Meridian to find Blue Team and neutralize them with armor restraints. Osiris takes the space elevator down to the planet's surface and is contacted by Governor Sloan, who is actually a smart AI undergoing rampancy. They find out that Blue Team was last seen on the Apogee station, and Sloan gives Osiris a Pelican to use to get there. After fighting through some Prometheans and Covenant, they find Blue Team's Prowler, but notices that they went into the planet. As they move deeper, they run into the Warden Eternal, who is the Guardian, lowercase g, of the Domain, a massive Forerunner database. The Warden is defeated, for now, and Osiris is trying to catch up to the Guardian, capital G, a gigantic Forerunner creation that was used as a policing mechanism and is being controlled by Cortana.
Here.
Oh, they built him big, didn't they? Figure that's the Guardian?
Can't get much by a buck.
Locke reaches Blue Team and has the hype one-on-one encounter with Master Chief that was in all the promo material. Master Chief subdues Locke with Locke's own armor restraint, and he escapes onto the Guardian, which then goes into slipspace. The slipspace rupture devastates Meridian. Governor Sloan was in contact with Cortana the entire time, and she gives him word to evacuate Meridian before the slipspace rupture. Aboard the Infinity, Halsey figures out that there are more Guardians throughout the universe, and there's one specifically under the planet of St. Helios, the Elite Homeworld.
It's a Guardian on the Elite Homeworld?
If we can get a team on the ground, we can access that Guardian.
Saying Helios is off limits. Brass wants nothing to do with the Arbiter's war.
That's because they haven't heard my great idea. That noise is an encoded numerical pattern. Paired quantum phase sets. Slip space coordinates for a Forerunner map.
If Locke's team could feed the Guardian the coordinates recorded on Meridian, it would take them to the same place Cortana took Master Chief. Tom, we can stop this.
But it means going to St. Helios.
I'll make arrangements.
Meanwhile, Blue Team arrives on a lush Forerunner planet known as Genesis. The Warden returns in a new body and introduces himself as Cortana's servant. He interrogates Chief to see what he plans to do once he reaches Cortana. Chief obviously says that he wants to take Cortana home, and the Warden considers him a threat as a result. After defeating this incarnation of the Warden, Cortana contacts them and informs Blue Team that she found the domain while drifting on the remains of the Didact's ship. She also drops the bombshell that the domain cured her of her rampancy. Could have fooled me. As planned, Osiris is deployed onto St. Helios with an escort from an elite squad of elites, the Swords of St. Helios. Last video I wondered what the Arbiter was doing after Halo 3, but now it seems that all this time he was trying to stave off a civil war within his own race. The Arbiter, along with Fireteam Osiris, escape in a Phantom and plan to win back the Guardian from the Covenant. Halsey lets them know that they need something called a Constructor to activate the Guardian. While on their way towards it, a Covenant Kraken stands in Osiris' way. Osiris boards the walker and destroys it from the inside. They retrieve the Constructor and Halsey uses it to activate the Guardian. As that happens, the Arbiter's forces destroy what is left of Jewel Madama's Covenant and closes that arc. Osiris is transported to Genesis on the Guardian. It's one of the coolest moments of the game, if not the entire series, and you descend the Guardian to get to Genesis' surface. They made slight contact with Master Chief, but the signal is weak. Osiris also runs into 031 Exuberant Witness, the monitor of Genesis. She's basically 3/4 Guilty Spark, but she oversees a planet as opposed to a Halo ring. Exuberant Witness has been overpowered by Cortana and has lost control of her installation, so she enlists the help of Osiris to get it back. Fireteam Osiris, who are now sympathetic to Master Chief's motives, meet up with Blue Team. Locke offers Chief help to stop Cortana, but Cortana teleports Blue Team away. After that, Blue Team encounters the Warden yet again, and he tries to convince Cortana that Blue Team is against her plans, but she destroys his new body. Master Chief is now fully aware that Cortana is trying to manipulate him, and the Warden comes back again and explains Cortana's plan. Before the Forerunners were more or less wiped out by the Halo rings, they placed something called the Mantle of Responsibility on humanity, which puts them as successors to the Forerunners in every way. But Cortana and the Didact before her believe that humanity hasn't advanced enough to be on the level of the Forerunners and want to take the mantle for smart AI. Since AI no longer have lifespans with a cure for rampancy, Cortana is seizing the opportunity to seize the mantle. Master Chief finally confronts a redesigned Cortana and tries to talk her out of this scheme. Obviously that doesn't work, and she puts them in something called a cryptum, which looks just like the prison that the Didact was in Halo 4. Osiris, meanwhile, is attempting to stop the cryptum from leaving with Cortana, as Cortana roasts every single one of them based on their psych profiles. Osiris then gives Exuberant Witness control over Genesis, and she releases the cryptum, uniting Blue Team and Osiris. Cortana leaves into slipspace with her Guardian and begins to shut down UNSC ships across the galaxy. Master Chief and Locke meet up with Halsey on St. Helios in a scene that looks right out of new Star Wars.
It took you long enough.
I think Halo 5's story suffers as a result of the multiplayer focus with fire teams. It's jarring coming from the character-driven narratives of the past two Halo releases. It makes sense if online multiplayer is all you care about, but you don't engross yourself in a character-driven story talking shit with friends online, and it makes no sense to me why 343 Industries would design a campaign this way. One thing I have little complaints about is the presentation. I love the graphical upgrade that comes with making the jump to the Xbox One. Genesis is one of my favorite looking environments in the series next to the remastered Installation 5, And I already talked about how cool it is to descend the massive body of a Guardian. Another exciting scene is when you get the drop on some elites before the first mission. The weapons have been redesigned slightly to accommodate the new iron sights, and I find some of the decisions off-putting. They took weapons that previously had scopes, like the carbine and battle rifle, and just took that away just to have them fit the generic FPS mold. When you expect a weapon or mechanic to work in a certain way for so long, it's weird when you have to get used to playing differently. Speaking of which... The core gameplay of Halo 5 is still there, but there are certainly some added features. Armor abilities are a thing of the past, and now you have something called Spartan abilities. These manifest themselves in a charging jet thruster that can break through walls, and what amounts to an air dash while jumping. There's also the controversial addition of iron sights to Halo, to which I ask, why is this feature here? Halo aiming was actually really good in all the other games, it just seems like it was added to try and convert the Call of Duty and Battlefield crowd. I got used to it, sure, but I wouldn't have complained if it was never added. On the subject of Battlefield and Call of Duty, I think that Halo has always had a better balance between single player and multiplayer. You could legitimately say you only play Halo for the overarching plot, like I do. But games like Black Ops 4 hold single-player enthusiasts with contempt. I feel like Halo 5 thinks the same way. If you for some reason don't have an Xbox Live Gold subscription, the only thing you can play in Halo 5 is the campaign, alone. There is no split screen at all, which I feel like is sacrilegious and alienating to the people who don't want an Xbox Live Gold subscription or have good enough internet to play online multiplayer. Also, I can't believe this, but Halo 5 has microtransactions too. There's a mechanic called requisitions that you can use in the new Warzone mode. You can get weapons and vehicles to use in that mode through what are known as rec packs. In these rec packs, you can also gain customizable items for your Spartan avatar, like armor, helmets, and weapon skins. While I'm not a fan of microtransactions in games at all, I think that the packs are plentiful enough that you can fight the temptation to spend real money. I still hate them though and wish they were never conceived of during Halo 5's development. The other thing I don't like about Halo 5 multiplayer is that there's no map voting. There's a map rotation system that I find really weird. I'd rather play a variety of maps than just get used to one. That's so boring. Okay, now my venting's out of the way, let's talk about the things I actually like. Halo 5 does bring back Firefight in the form of Warzone, which is actually kind of fun. There are also bosses that you can fight in this mode, and you can get a fuck ton of packs from this. So it's my most recommended mode if you want all the fun of multiplayer without having to deal with human opponents. Halo 5 is the game that probably has been the most torn throughout this retrospective. I like some of its new features like Warzone and the deep customization pool, but I still can't reason with the fact that such a story-driven game series has basically blown off part of its fan base to cater more towards esports. Well, that wraps up the Halo retrospective. I might go back to Halo Wars and Spartan Assault at a later date, but now I think it's time to move on to New Horizons. I already have a plan for what my next series will be. I'll give you 2 hints. Like the Halo series, it started in 2001, and started life as a Resident Evil game. Let me know what you think it is in the comments below. In 2 weeks, I'll be starting up this new series of reviews, so keep your sub inbox open. This has been another episode of Castar Reviews. Subscribe for more content from me, and I will see you next time.